G'day fellas and welcome to A Casted Game. Spawning in on the north side of the map, playing in the colour purple as the French, it's Crackety here. And on the south side of the map, playing in the colour red, representing my insanity, as the Malians, it's Zerden. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another game between these two titans of Age of Empires. Unfortunately, they didn't make it through to the Red Bull Wallalol, but guess who did? Well, I guess technically I did. So if you want to watch Red Bull Wallalol, I'll leave a link in the description. It's probably live right now. So go check it out. That was a good segue. That was a very good segue, Drongo. That was at least a 7 out of 10. You know, that's the same level as Viper's strategy. But go check out Red Bull Wallalol. It's happening this weekend. It's happening this week. I don't know when exactly this video will get posted to YouTube. At the moment, it's Sunday, the 23rd of October for me. Could be a while. Could still be a while. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about where we're up to. Let's talk about this matchup and about why I like this matchup quite a lot. I think this might be the first time we are witnessing this matchup. The Malians taking on the French. But it's a double scout opening, going to be happening in from Crackety. So looking to try and deny away as much food as possible from the French player. Let's talk a little bit about how we got here in this series. All right, well, as you can see, in the last game, it was the Ottomans versus the Rus. And here we are playing as the Malians versus the French. When it comes to the civilizations available for the players at the moment, we've got Crackety here, who's got the Delhi as his last remaining OG civilization, and we've got Zerden with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 civilizations left. He's got plenty to choose from, and he's been on a bit of a streak recently, he's won the last 2 games. So if he wins this one, he's going to be in a great position to potentially win the event. Now, I do like to think of this a bit like tennis, the same way that you expect a player who has got the serve to be winning that point. You expect the player to be, or you expect the player with the original civilization to be winning that game. And so whenever you can beat your enemy, in this case we've seen, I think Zerden, let's just review the stats quickly. So we've seen, we've seen the 3 victories that have come out from Crackety have all been on OG civilizations. He hasn't won yet on the new civ, but if you can win with a new civ, then that's going to be a really, really strong thing, because your enemy's got very high familiarity with the old civs, but they don't have a lot of familiarity with the new civs. And as a result, it means that your experience there is going to be much greater, and therefore you should know what to do in certain circumstances. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about this matchup and about where it goes from here, because we have got ourselves a very interesting matchup, French versus the Malians. So the Malians are a civilization that I personally think are going to be quite strong in the late game. Very strong in the mid game as well, just simply because of their economy. They've got a lot going for them, but they're a very difficult civilization. I think probably one of the more complex civilizations. You know, we look at China as a complicated civ. They're complicated in the early game, but once you start getting onto the mid game, the late game, I don't think China's all that complicated. But I think the Malians in the mid game are very difficult to get a hold of, or to understand exactly what to do and when to do it, just because they've got so many options available to them. Do I want to be adding in a pit mine right now? Maybe. Do I want to be adding in some cows right now? Maybe. Should I add a second town center? Maybe. Should I add a third town center? Maybe. Should I age up? They've got so many different things that they can be doing, and they're investing so many resources into it. Not any resources, but they're investing resources into it. And because they have to invest a lot of resources into it, it's kind of a bit of a trap. So they've got to know exactly when to hold it, know when to fold it, and I think that's part of the reason why I would say they're probably the most complex civilization that has come yet to Age of Empires, just because of that one mechanic. Honestly, cows seem like a little bit of a trap sometimes. But anyway, I digress, as the age ups have now come through. Zerden once again rushing his age up. He loves to do this. 8, 9 villages on the landmark, and then into nothing. So I guess he just likes to have the extra gold in the coffers. I guess that's it. I can't really think of any other reason why it is. But we'll check in on the other side of the map, as we have got Crackety looking to just play a very standard school of cavalry opening, but this is not a standard school of cavalry opening. This is very different. He's not even going to be going for a knight, it seems, which is kind of wild, right? Like, you would expect in most circumstances that every single French player is going to make at least 1 knight. But it's not the case here. Instead, he's just putting pressure on with the scouts. And I think I mentioned that Crackety was denying away food with the French. he was denying away food from the French. No, he's denying food as the French. So he's denying food away from the Malians. So I do apologize for that one. But we do already start to see the barracks coming in now. So it's going to be a couple of Donzos for Zerton on the Malians. And this is part of the reason why I think Crackety just might be avoiding going into the knight. And we can see that right now he's got no knight in queue. At the top of your screen, there's no knight at all. He's just going into that second town center. He's already got 350 stone. Let's go and have a look and see where he's planning on placing this town center as he begins moving over towards the west of the map. I don't know. Is he going to TCFC? Nope. It's going to be a safe town center just outside the gold mine. Looking to try and secure up the gold vein, make sure it's okay, make sure that there's not going to be any issues with it. Donzo chasing away the first of the scouts. Second scout doing a little bit of a scout around the Rosie. Very, very nice job so far, but the two Donzos going to be able to force back these scouts, prevent them from doing any more siege damage, and he manages to fill the gap here in this central location. But I guess the question is now, where does he go from here? Archery range does get dropped down. So if you're playing as Crackety, where do you go for knights or do you go for horsemen? I think that's probably the question. And I think you probably want to start going into horsemen, but then switching into knights. I think that's the way you'd want to do it. But I'm not 100% sure. You need very good micro if you're going to play horsemen. And the reason why is because if your horsemen are hitting Donzos, not only are they doing less damage, because the Donzo is not a ranged unit like the javelin thrower, but the Donzo's also got an extra melee armor. So now instead of doing that 9 damage that you were doing before, you're only doing 8 damage. So it is a big difference between it. Scout now spotting out the second town center. He's going to be like, oh, okay, you went second town center very quickly. Okay, I didn't expect that. So now towards the north, it looks like more expansion going to be coming in. Scout is up here, so he's going to be causing a little bit of havoc. He's going to be splitting, by the looks of it, the deer. Yeah, I think he's just going to be splitting the deer. Let's see how he plays it out. Or maybe not. Maybe just keeping tabs on it. So one of the things you can do is if your enemy is going for deer or planning to go for deer, you can get your scout in here, try and get them into this spot here, and you just want to push the deer in every direction. You want to split them up. You want to push these deer to the north, this deer to the west, these deer to the south, this deer over towards the east. But I think that's definitely the best way to do it. But he's just going to be jumping out for the moment. Over on the east side, we do see the hardened Donzo coming in now towards the stone mining, or stone emplacement. Give me some time, guys. Sorry, I got to reboot after this one. Stone outcropping. So jumping down onto the mining camp. Yeah, at this point in the game, I mean, realistically, Crackety never takes stone again in this game, unless he needs a keep. But even then, you know, it's not a big thing. But we can see that at the moment, Crackety's on a heavy amount of gold, a heavy amount of food, which to me signals that he might even be just thinking about going to Castle Age. Could be for a guild hall. That could be an option. Down towards the south, second pit mine has now come up. He's looking to continue expanding out the Malian economy. We're right on board with Zerton for a little bit as he continues pumping out units non-stop. And take a look at this. He is really going heavy on this military opening. Now, one of the things to note is he has got no stone at all in the bag. Absolutely nothing. He doesn't have the Mansa Quarry on stone. He doesn't have 2 villages slowly trickling in stone for himself. He's got no stone whatsoever. So when it comes to second town centers, this is it. He is going for a 1 TC opening, and that is it. I do like the way that he's got just a couple of units patrolling around. He's looking for a potential opening, but now that first knight is out, and oh, there's some damage that could be done right here. He hits the villagers on the gold mine. Let's see if he's able to get that. Oh, he gets it. He gets it. So manages to take out the first villager of the game. There's also some villagers down here on this this little deer patch. Now we've got the javelins moving back, and isn't it amazing just to watch the way that Zerton reacts to a single knight? A single knight comes back, javelin throwers come back, Donzos come back, everyone is now coming back, and look at the walls as a reaction. He's like, it's onion time, baby. And he begins walling up absolutely everything. And this is the appropriate response. I mean, to me, I kind of find it a little bit funny that he went just for, like, to bring back all of the units as the response, but, it works, it works. So Crackety forcing out a pretty big defensive response there. But now, on the other side, Crackety stacking up the gold. We see him moving out across the map. Going to be beginning to move out onto different hunts, different berry patches. We see him now also researching wheelbarrow, also looking to pick up horticulture. Keep in mind that the French have got those cheaper technologies. So even though they reduced the cost of technologies from, it was like 250 resources down to 150 resources, well, the French are even further reduced, only having to pay 35 and 70 resources respectively. So it's pretty damn good for them. Couple of wolves out here helping out Crackety. First wolf does fall away. Second wolf about to drop off. There it goes. And now Zerton going to continue moving up towards the north. He knows that there's villagers up here, but the outpost is already ready. He's not too fussed at all. But for the moment, Crackety, not a lot of villagers. I say not a lot of villagers on food, but never mind. He's got 25 villagers on food now. I think he's just transitioned a whole bunch over, which is definitely the right choice for him. Behind this, though, what is Zerton up to? He's just playing a full feudal age here. So do we see siege engineering coming through shortly? It might be the case. Towards the north village, oh my lord, that villager. I don't know how much health that villager's got on the inside, but I can tell you right now, it's not a lot. Another wolf coming in, and I love the way that he doesn't even kill the wolf. He just leaves it. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, you got to at least kill those wolves. It's going to be so annoying for you. Now, what have we got on the other side of the map? Siege engineering has come in. Okay, so siege engineering has come in, and battering ram coming out. Oh, so we got ourselves a first potential feudal attack. This is a potential feudal all-in. And I think we're going to start to see now why this probably won't work. So I don't know. I don't think that Zerton's necessarily sandbagging this game, but it definitely feels like one of those things where it's like, oh, I don't know about this strategy. So he's not actually going to target town center. Interesting. He's going to target the outpost, and that's what he's going to siege it down with. So he's got units here, but if he does look to siege down that outpost, it's just not going to be effective. Now he could technically fit all of these units inside the battering ram, and just keep them in there nice and safe. Instead, though, he pushes forward. He is going to lose a couple of units here for his trouble. And look at the units rallying up towards his position across the map. These guys are getting scouted out by the town center. We got ourselves a little bit of an attack. Apologies for missing this one. The knights coming in. Archers moving forward, looking to try and take out the Donzo. He's going to be successful. He's actually misfocusing right there and hitting the javelin throw. A big mistake from him. Manages to clean up the first of the attacking force. Battering ram still making its way through. And now those knights going to be able to hit the javelin throwers. But look at this, the archer numbers looking healthy enough to take out the Donzos. And remember, the victory condition is always going to be knight superiority. If you've got knights and your enemy's got no spearmen or no Donzos, well, you're in a good position. And once again, Crackety able to keep his head above water. Sure, the knight numbers are starting to thin out, and the archer numbers not doing the best either, but he manages to maintain control. He shuts down the battering ram, and his enemy's on one town center. He's on two town centers. That's the difference here. That is the difference. And Crackety continues scaling. He's up 23 villagers at the moment. And that's the difference. We'll take a look back at the base of Zerton. Still got villagers in queue at the moment. But remember, only the single town center. It's going to really start to look like a big villager difference. And now the production here for Crackety looking very, very strong. Triple archer production as it comes out. I mean, I guess this to me is like the reason why we don't see these types of pushes. And to me, it's like, how can you make this push stronger? What can make this push better? Because Zerton has only gone into, like, the most he's invested in is a second pit mine. That's it. Like, every other resource has gone 100% into military. He hasn't invested into his economy. Like, sure, he's got his eco upgrades behind this, but it's not that relevant. So for me, it's like, how do you even justify going for an early one-base feudal aggression where you're thinking about going for a ram when your enemy could just so easily shut you down? Because not only do they have the defender's advantage, but they've also got, you know, reinforcements closer. They've got the villagers that they can always pull to help out as well. What makes that so strong? Because there was not even a town center to defend. It was just the French economy. Do you increase the cost of villagers? Is that the way that you do it? Do you increase the cost of town centers even more? I don't know. I really don't know. But now a couple of units here going to get picked up. He's got to be careful. He takes out one knight. Beautiful, beautiful job right there. Second knight going to go down as well. Royal Institute on the third age coming in for Crackety. So we're back to the Royal Institute. It's a beautiful landmark. It's come out once again. The landmark of all French landmarks. Definitely one of the nicest. I love the way that the ground changes around it. Gets these nice little plants. But still this push coming in from Zerton. He's looking like he wants to commit to it. Veteran archers. Veteran Royal Knights also coming in. And Crackety on the defensive for the moment. Gotta be careful. Definitely a window right here for Zerton to attack and cause a bit of harm. Alright, well, we'll check back in over on the south side as more expansion is coming in, but a potential third age going to be coming through from Zerton here. He continues moving up. He's loving this area. I don't know what he loves so much about this area and attacking from this angle, but this is where the focus has largely been. Knights on the other side of the map now. Looking to try and pick up reinforcements. Going to be successful. Villagers going to be going down. I think he's going to get every single one. No, one makes it to the outpost. Second one gets taken out. And, oh, it was close. It was close. He gets 2 inside. Gets 3 for his hard work, though, so not too bad of an effort. But these units do a great job in just sieging down this outpost, and it's going to be very, very easy. He'll be able to clean up those last 2 villages here. He's cleaned up 5 villages now. But the villager count is still 30 different between these 2 players. Crackety on 76 compared to the 46 of his enemy. And now Archers going up against the Javelin Throwers. Knights moving in as well. Looking to try and bait those Donzos forwards. And you can see the Archers just focusing on the Donzos. That's all they want. They don't want the Javelin Throwers. They just want to take out the Donzos. That's all they're doing. They're just working down the Javelin, or working down the Donzos. And they've done a great job. And look at that. The Javelin Thrower is now repelled from this position. You can just see that the veteran Archers alone are going to be more than enough. He's got +2 as well on this as well. And Crackety looking like he's going to be putting up a very solid defense here. And Zerton, I mean, I don't want to call a good game early, but when you've got a 32 villager lead, 15 minutes into the game, a tech lead, a military lead, like we've got the triple lead right now. The tech lead, the eco lead, and the military lead for Crackety. How does Zerton get back into this? That is the question. So I think the one way that Zerton can potentially get back into this is through raiding. And we've seen him do this before. When he's been down, he's been able to raid. We've seen Crackety throw away an 85% win chance before. So it's probably looking a little bit higher than that. I'd be saying like Crackety 95% win chance at this point in the game. But there might be a way for Zerton to come back into it through the form of raids with the Sofa. Could always be an option. We can see that Zerton's walled up, whereas Crackety, once again, has neglected to wall up. But still, we see that the production numbers now really looking good for Crackety. And he's got the Knights. And this is what is so damn damaging to you as the Malians, because you're, or just as any civilization that's not the French, you're just able to overcome anything with these Knights. As long as they don't have the Donzos or the Spearmen to deal with it, it's so damn difficult. Behind this now, we start to hear relics being picked up as well. Deposited. I don't know exactly where that mosque is, or that monastery is. Might be down. Yeah, there it is. Down towards the south side of the base. He's now going to start picking up more and more relics. He's got another one in the middle of the map, another one to the north of the map. Easily available for him, and there's no real sign that Zerton is moving towards the castle age at this point, just looking to play it out in Feudal for as long as possible. Yeah, I guess for me, the question is, like, really, what's the most appropriate approach? And we now see more cattle ranches coming down. So for anybody who's playing along at home, they're playing the Malians. Maybe it's your first time playing the Malians, and you're wondering, how do I place my cattle ranches? So you see how Zerton has placed a cattle ranch right here in the middle? You don't want to do that. In fact, you want to make sure that if you're going to place them all next to each other like this, you also want to leave an extra tile. So you want to have enough for 4 tiles. And that's because you're going to put the Grand Fulani Corral in the middle of all of them. Javelin Throwers on the edge now. Donzo's also going to be coming in. Needs to be careful here. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode as the Knights look to brace as they hit the back line. Javelin Throwers teeing off towards the enemy side, but the numbers here just looking so damn small, and Crackety able to overwhelm his enemy. So you suspect good game's going to get called any second, and there it is. Good game getting called. Crackety here pulling back a victory, and Zerton tapping out in this game. So if you're an aspiring Malian player, what can we learn from this game? Number one, I think that if you're gonna play against the French, you probably want to add a second town center. I think that's really important. I think it's also important to be aggressive early against the French. At the very least, looking to apply pressure towards that stone mine. Maybe even try and prevent that second town center from getting up altogether. But overall, I think Crackety played it really well. We'll take a look at the villager count here, and you can see just that difference, that 2 TC difference, together with that French difference. Have a look at the units that were killed. 91 units killed by Crackety. So when it comes to the next game, what are we looking at? Well, it's going to be Cracky here that's going to be playing the Malians. And Zerton's going to have his pick between 5 different civilizations. The Delhi, the English, the French, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Rus. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go check out Red Bull Wololol. It's happening this weekend. It's probably happening right now as we speak. I'm probably casting on the floor down at Heidelberg. And if you're watching this on Twitch, well, as Beastie says, let's keep going.